Excuse me, hi. You're here to apply for the job, yes? Okay, good. Look at you. You look good. You look good. You look very presentable. You look like you would be perfect for what I have in mind. Okay. All right, Stephanie, I will take care of this. You just go on with the next candidate. No, you're still hiring for the job. Well, put a pin in that. Just go do the next interview. You, come with me. Hello, I'm Dreamy, and I'm the CEO here at Lamar Industries. What is your name? Hi. Okay, hi. Come, walk with me to my office. I would like to have a private chat with you. Oh, that sounds daunting, doesn't it? I don't mean it's. I promise it's nothing bad. Come on, we'll talk. All right, so I have a question for you. It's going to seem a little odd at first. You are not in a relationship, is that correct? Oh, so sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean to present. Okay, look, you're not wearing a wedding ring, and you're also applying for a job that would take you out of town for a very long time and only back in town occasionally. So, and also, while you are very attractive and tidy and mostly well put together, I think that if you had a partner at home, they would have stopped you from walking out of the house with your tie on the outside of your collar, in the back. Sorry. Yeah. So, am I correct that you are single? I'm guessing you're not heavily committed to anyone right now. Is that accurate? All right. Okay, so, in that case, I have a proposition for you. Well, no, not a proposition. That doesn't sound... A proposal. Well, not a proposal. Not a proposal. I have an offer to make you. Well, given the context of what I'm about to ask, there's just no way to say this without making it sound weird. All right, so... would you consider marrying a stranger for a bucket load of money? Like, a lot. Like, 4 times what you would have been making per year here. And all you have to do is marry them. Marry me for a year, and then you can just be on your way. No commitments, no obligations beyond that. No strings attached. And during the year, no strings attached. Just be married to me. No strings attached. Legitimately, you could date if you wanted to, but I would ask for you to be discreet. You could date, you could come and go as you please. You would have the use of my properties. You would have the benefits that come with being the spouse of the CEO of this corporation. You would meet a lot of people who could open a lot of doors for you. It would be a good thing for you. But it would also be intensely weird. I'm not going to pretend that it won't be. I just really need a spouse for just a year. And a day. Just a year and a day. Look, I am the current CEO of this company, the interim CEO. My grandfather created this company, built it from the very first account into what it is today. And as I grew up, he taught me everything I know about it. I grew up in these halls. I worked every job as a kid. And I love this company. And I know this is sounding really confusing and not relevant at the moment, but I promise it is. It was very important to my grandfather that this company stay within the family. He didn't want it sold off. He didn't want it distributed piecemeal. He wanted somebody who would care about it the way he did. Someone who had their blood in this building. And that's me. Unfortunately, it's also my cousin. My cousin, who was never particularly interested in this company. But he did end up getting married before I could, and before my grandfather passed. When the old man shuffled off this mortal coil, he gave me 10 years in his will to get married and preferably start a family. Or else the company would pass to my cousin. I tried. I did try, and I did fall in love. But he broke up with me. We were supposed to get married. We were going to get married. There's actually a whole wedding venue rented out and paid for, lots of deposits that I'm not going to get back, but here I am. I have 1 year left. 1 year left to get married and get pregnant. I will not be expecting you to make me pregnant. I'm going to get pregnant by another stranger. That's the plan anyway. But no, I'm not, no kinds of contracts like that. I'm pretty sure that that's only legal in some parts of Nevada, and even then I'm not sure how that would work for the whole pregnancy thing. But no, I was going to go, I have a donor. I already have a donor in mind. It's kind of cool, actually. They give you a whole big book full of people, and they tell you what they do, what their hobbies, what they look. It's weird. It's weird is what it is. Shopping for DNA. It's weird, but it is what it is. And you know what? Needs must when the devil drives. And I'm not just doing this. I'm not just like creating a life. I'm not just planning to create a life for the sake of getting my grandfather's company. That's not. I'm not that. I do want to be a mother. I just, things it just didn't work out. And so now I'm in this position where I have to make do and make it happen without the benefit of a loving partner. So, well, thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. You're very sweet. Anyway, that's where I am. I need a spouse. I need a spouse in order to fulfill the obligation according to my grandfather's will. Otherwise, the entire company goes to my cousin, who has no interest in the business. I mean, no shade on my cousin. He's a great guy, and he has a wonderful wife, beautiful kids. They also have no interest in the business. Maybe one day, but not now. And if it's being run by someone who doesn't care about it in the interim, it's not going to last until the next generation could take it over. So here's my proposal. Marry me. Marry me for 1 year and 1 day. And then, at the end of it, you get $500,000 that you get to walk away from me with no strings attached. Oh, good question. No, the baby would be mine. Just mine. I expect that it won't even be an issue. I don't imagine that I would get pregnant fast enough to carry it to term and give birth while we were still married in that 1 year. But if it were to happen, the baby would be no DNA relation to you, so you could easily just walk away. No responsibilities there. Legally, morally, emotionally, just my bag, not yours. Oh, well, honestly, if I'm not pregnant by the end of the year, it's all a moot point anyway. The whole thing just goes to my cousin. If I have no heirs to show... You're actually considering this, aren't you? Well, I appreciate it. I get how crazy this is. I fully understand how insane this is. And I appreciate you even entertaining the thought. And I promise you, if you say no, if you don't want to do this, I could never hold that against anybody. Obviously, you could go back, talk to Stephanie about the job that we were hiring for, that you applied for, and I will not influence in any way, shape, or form the hiring process. I hope that you feel comfortable with that. But if you would rather, if you would agree, if you're willing, then you probably don't have to work. You could if you want. I mean, I also wouldn't try to stop you. I'm not expecting you to sit at home and be a house spouse or anything like that. I mean, I've got people to clean and I've got people to cook. I don't need that. I just need somebody to be a spouse on paper. That's all. Why? Why did my grandfather want me to be married before I had a baby? Because he's a grandfather. And also, he believed that kids should be raised by two parents, especially when one of them is so focused on career. He understood that without my grandmother, he wouldn't have had the company, he wouldn't have had his family, not together, and both were equally important to him. He wanted me to have that as well. He wanted me to have someone in my corner to back me up, somebody to help me, somebody who could be there for a baby at the times that I couldn't because I was working. He wanted a kid who was going to be surrounded by love from family on all sides. I can't magically make another parent for my child, but I can still get plenty of people to help me with a child when I'm busy with work. I can get people who are gonna care for my kid. It's just a matter of hiring them. Okay, look, I get that what I'm asking is really big, even if it's no strings attached, if there's no actual commitment beyond a contractual obligation to present yourself as married to me for the next year. I get that it's a lot. We can work out to what degree you want to be participatory, if for lack of a better word. But even then, I understand that I can say there are no strings attached. You can go ahead and date. At the same time, what's that look like for you, right? I mean, for the sake of my company's reputation, not to mention for the sake of this baby I'm trying to bring into the world, I would have to have you sign a non-disclosure agreement about the nature of our marriage. So you could go ahead and date. You could even tell her perfectly honestly that your wife is all okay with you dating. But that implies that we have an open relationship, which isn't quite what this is, and that'll sketch a lot of people out. Or you could just not tell them and hope they never find out. I get that this is a huge ask, which is why I'm willing to pay $500,000 for 1 year. And don't forget that along with that $500,000, You would get to stay in whichever of my residences you would like, rent-free, no bills, just living a very comfortable life that pays you $500,000 at the end of the year. You can stay in the city, you could stay in the country, you could stay on either coast or in the middle, you can stay in whatever country you like. I will make it work, so long as you agree to present yourself as my spouse. That's all I'm asking. And again, I know that this is a big, big ask. So you go ahead and here's my card. And call me with whatever you decide. But please don't take too long, because I literally have to get on this, like, super fast. I am really running out of time to find a spouse here. If you decide to do this, we can do it as small or as big as you want to do it. Like, we could just be me and you and a couple of witnesses at the courthouse, or hell, I already have a venue and caterers and photographers and music lined up. We could make it into a big fat party if you like. It can be whatever you want. So long as it's a year and a day. Go ahead and think it over. Get back to me on what you decide. In the meantime, I'll walk you back to the recruitment office, and I'll tell Stephanie to give you that interview. So, no harm, no foul if you decide not to. I promise I never influence hiring. Stephanie's good at her job, and I trust her to do it. If you decide not to do this, you will only ever see me again at office Christmas parties, and only if you're in town at the time. Okay, let's get you back to Stephanie. Yeah, sure. You can ask anything at this point. That's awkward. I haven't asked any friends because I don't actually have any. I have my work, and I'm friendly with everyone here. My assistant is pretty close to a friend. But there's only ever so much you can be a friend when there's a livelihood involved, And anyway, she's married, so that's out of the question. So I figured we were hiring for this job for people who are basically not attached to people, right? So I figured if people applying for this job are unlikely to be attached, then they would probably be good candidates for what I need. And if I'm being honest, you made the best first impression. There's a bit of ego involved, in that if I'm going to marry somebody for appearances, I would like them to have a good appearance, and you do. So, anyway, Stephanie, I'll take you back to her, and you can continue with that interview. Do the interview. You didn't even get to start it before I scooped you up, didn't you? Yeah, let's go. And thank you for entertaining all of this craziness, because it was kind, it was crazy, you were patient, and I appreciate that. You didn't make me feel any more crazy than this already is, and you could have done that very easily. Nobody would have ever blamed you for that. So, thank you. You've even been kind of sympathetic. You will make someone a very good real spouse one day. For real. Okay. Yeah, let's get you back to Stephanie. Hey there, cupcakes. Thank you all so very much for joining me for yet another story. If you're still here, I assume that means that you liked it. So please let me know that you liked it by liking it. Thank you so very much. But thank you for all the ways you support me by still being here, by your comments, by your likes and your subscriptions, and I've had so much support. I appreciate you. All of the people who gave me feedback on what I did last week with the fully animated video, thank you for that. I think we all came to about the same consensus that it was fun, it was lovely, it was nice to see, but also the stories are more important than having it be fully animated, especially when I've got something for you to look at in the animatics. So thank you all so very much for your input. I will come back around to the fully animated at some point, I'm sure. When I have a special project, when I have something that I really think would be suited to animation, and when it's something that is harder to tell without animation. Like some of you who have been here for a while know that I got completely stuck on a story that I was telling that I know the entire plot to, but I have one plot detail that is just really hard to reveal in the first person and still keep the story going. So that's something that I could probably be doing as an animated video, and I think I'm going to revisit that as something animated, but that's going to take time, and that will be in the future. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it is the unfinished Robot Rebellion story that was actually the very first story, one of the very first stories that I wanted to tell. When I created this story, the Robot Rebellion story and the Red Riding Hood story were the two that I really wanted to tell when I first started this. So it's a shame that I never got to finish that one. Thank you for the support during my live streams. I have been live streaming here and on Twitch simultaneously. The last time I didn't get the notifications for people who were commenting in my live stream, and I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for the support. Wolf and Temper and Will and Ark and Mushin, you're so good to me, and especially Wolf. Oh my goodness. Wolf Zero was so very kind to me, and I didn't even see, I feel so bad because normally I do look at both, and this just has slipped by me. Normally I look at both channel comments, both platform comments, and it slipped past me. I didn't see it. And Wolf, seriously, like, just one of the best actors and the most delicious voice. Love listening to his stories, and I have had the pleasure, the honor, the good fortune to have recorded a lot of scenes, well, a few scenes so far. I'm going to have more scenes with him on the Werewolf Panther Princess series, that movie that was crowdfunded. That Zena Alexander is doing, and so we've got a few of our scenes already done, and I love being able to work with him. It's fun, it's fabulous, and he is just such a wonderful person. Thank you, Wolf, and also all of my new supporters, all of my new members. There is Sayatan and Greg Allen. Sayatan just makes me think of the meat substitute, the seitan, and it makes me hungry. Over on Patreon, I have Pyre and Gioba Lani and Mustache Slime, who I know from the from the Spice Rack chat, who's been fun to get to know. Thank you very much for joining Mustache Slime. And Bad Wolf, I see what you did there. I absolutely see another Doctor Who fan when I absolutely spot another Doctor Who fan when I see one. So thank you. And of course, to all of those bakers and pound cakes who make it so possible for me to continue doing this, even for like last month when one thing after another kind of hit me. I had a lot of had a lot of weekends that I had to be away, and I was not feeling well. And you guys know, because you waited a month or 3 weeks for me to get another video out. So thank you all so very much for your patience with that. But to the bakers and pound cakes who keep me in this business, thank you. There's Mustache Slime and Tyrant Slayer, Auntie Susie, Pack 3424, Deanster, Charles Tribble, Wheaton, Loot Curator, Bowman, Gunner's Mage, Mushan the Wholesome Storyteller, William Gungrave, Steed, Esley Photo, Harper Evolution, Arc Redemption, Wolf 9004, Malice Silo, Army Guy 007, Lou, Bunny, Meryl, Mr. Rickles, Darth Mythos, Red Death 48, Always Able, Old Bean UK, Kolek 92, The Swaggy Llama, Art Low, and Christian Cleopa. Thank you. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. You are so wonderful, and I appreciate you all. I hope you will all be as good to yourselves as you are to me, and I will talk to you again soon. And keep an eye out, because I have been streaming more, and I will continue to stream more. What I might do is make a separate channel for streaming, because it is a little bit different. I don't know if it's confusing the algorithm yet. We'll see. We will see. We'll see. But anyway, be as good to yourselves as you are to me, because you are wonderful to me, and you deserve all the wonderful things. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.